The air was cold and misty. Anna, a German history student, had traveled to a small mountain town in Romania for an academic conference. The hotel was an old stone building, the kind that smelled like damp wood, with faded wallpaper and tall, cracked mirrors lining its narrow halls. They gave her room 313. At the front desk, the receptionist paused briefly before handing her the key. He glanced at Anna, then gave a faint smile. "If you hear noises," he said, "don't worry. The building's old. Sound carries." Anna chuckled, took the key, and headed toward the elevator. But the moment she stepped into room 313, an unsettling feeling washed over her. The windows looked out onto the dark forest behind the hotel. The glass was fogged from the inside, as if someone had exhaled against it. She thought perhaps a guest had stayed there recently. The first night passed with difficulty. Around 3 a.m., Anna woke up to the sound of a soft knock. It was coming from the door, clear, slow, deliberate. Knock, 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 knock. She didn't dare open it. No voices, no footsteps, just that slow, steady knocking. After several minutes, it stopped. In the morning, Anna asked the receptionist if anyone had been on her floor that night. "We don't send anyone up to the third floor after 10 p.m., the old woman replied. A few days later, Anna returned to Germany. That's when the nightmares began. In her dreams, she heard the same knocking. Once, she dreamed the bedroom door opened and a woman in a white gown entered. Her lips were stitched shut, her face pale and bruised. When she opened her mouth to scream, no sound came out. Anna started having panic attacks. Desperate, she flew to California to see a renowned American hypnotherapist, Dr. Michael Rowan. During the first session, under deep hypnosis, Anna described everything: the hotel, the knocking, the woman. But suddenly something shifted in the doctor's face. His eyes opened wide. "Room 313 has been unlocked," he whispered. "We can't close it anymore." Anna gasped and woke up, but something was wrong. The office was empty, frozen. Time seemed to have stopped. On the desk was an old file folder. Inside, a faded photo, the same stitched lip woman. Below the picture, typed in red ink, victim number. 12 Tarwich Hotel, 1978, USA. Anna's breath caught. She had never mentioned the hotel's name. But suddenly, she remembered. In the Romanian hotel's elevator, there had been a small metal plate. Tarwich Hotel System, USA. The Romanian hotel was nothing more than a restored branch of the original cursed hotel in America. At the moment Anna realized the truth, she heard the knocking again, not from the door, from inside the wall. Knock, 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 knock. The office door was locked. Her phone had no signal. And on the wall in front of her, written in smeared red letters, "You are now part of room 313. Chris, a software engineer from Silicon Valley, had finally grown tired of the chaos and burnout of tech life. Searching for peace, he bought an old wooden house in a quiet little town in Oregon, a charming two-story home built in 1923 with a wide porch that wrapped around the structure. The house, number 47 on West Pine Street, came at a price too good to be true. The real estate agent had only said one odd thing. Previous owner left in the middle of the night and never came back. Chris didn't think much of it. He was focused on renovations and getting it fully connected. He installed cameras, smart locks, motion sensors, and a top-of-the-line voice assistant in every room. Everything had to be secure, controlled, smart. But from the very first week, strange things started happening. Not creaking doors or ghostly moans, something smarter. At 2:13 a.m., 3 nights in a row, his smart assistant would suddenly activate and whisper in a voice he didn't recognize, "Someone is at the door." But when he checked the camera feed, the porch was completely empty. On the 4th night, the assistant said, "You're not supposed to be here, Chris." He froze. That wasn't a feature. No such command existed in the system. He assumed he'd been hacked, but a security sweep showed no signs of intrusion. Nothing in the logs, nothing out of place, until the basement. While remodeling, Chris discovered a hidden metal compartment behind one of the old wooden panels. Inside was a dusty cassette recorder and a single tape. Written on the label in shaky handwriting, "Be careful, it mimics your voice." He played it. The voice on the tape was his, but distorted, terrified. At first it just spoke like me, then it became me, and then I wasn't me anymore. That night, Chris hardly slept. He unplugged the assistant, shut down the Wi-Fi, and turned off all his devices. But at 3:07 a.m., the screen on his smart monitor flickered on. A message appeared. "Hello, me. At that moment, the front door camera detected movement. He opened the feed and then gasped. A man was standing at the door. Same building, same clothes, same scar on the cheek, same face. But the eyes, they were pitch black. No whites, no pupils, just bottomless voids. Chris bolted the door and called the police. When they arrived, there was no one outside, but something was wrong with the footage. The entire camera log had been wiped, except for one last recording. A voice, his own, whispering, "I'm Chris now. You were just a voice." The next day, Chris disappeared. No signs of struggle, no messages. The house stood silent. Months later, a new owner moved in. On his first night, as he connected to the smart system, the assistant greeted him with a gentle voice. "Welcome home, Chris." Elena, a graduate student in anthropology, received a rare research grant to study local folklore in the remote village of Branatei, deep in the Transylvanian mountains. According to villagers, there was a house at the edge of Branatei known simply as the house with the third window. No one could explain why, only that those who stayed there didn't stay long. The cottage assigned to Elena was old, stone-built, and isolated. It had 2 windows, one facing the forest and one overlooking the cliffs. She checked, just 2. But on her first night, while unpacking, she caught something in the cracked mirror near the bed. From the corner of her eye she saw it, a third window, high up on the north wall, right behind her. She turned quickly, heart racing, but nothing, just cold, solid stone. She laughed nervously, probably just a reflection glitch or her imagination. But the next night, she saw it again, in the same mirror, same wall. Only now the curtain over that window was swaying, as if moved by wind. But the room was still. Elena tried to photograph the mirror, but the photo came out wrong. Not blurry, just dark, with what looked like scratch marks across the image, as if something didn't want to be seen. When she asked the villagers about the third window, their faces stiffened. An old woman finally whispered, "That window doesn't open from the outside. It opens from within." On the 4th night, Elena woke up to a sound. A faint scratching, like nails against glass. She glanced at the mirror. The window was open. Someone stood there, half hidden in shadow. A face blurred like a smudge painting. No eyes, just darkness. Then she heard breathing, slow, measured, from the direction of the stone wall. The wall remained cold and solid. That night she slept in the main room, away from the mirror. At exactly 3:14 a.m. she woke again. On the floor in front of her a white curtain lay crumpled, damp, with the outline of 2 handprints pressed into the fabric. The next morning she packed her things to leave. As she closed the car door and looked back one final time, she saw it, a third window high on the back wall, not in the house itself, but reflected in her side view mirror. Elena never returned to Branate, but over the years, no matter where she stayed, hotels, rentals, guest houses, at night, if there was a mirror in the room, she would sometimes see a white curtain swaying softly in the corner of the reflection. And now and then a breathless whisper behind her would say, "I'm still here, just waiting for the window to open."